Okay, so this is the start of the second page. It says the ratio of the length to the height of the American flag is 3 to 2. Complete the table. So we have 3 to 2. What are we doing to this 2 to make it a 24? Well, we're timesing it by 12. So what do we do to the 3? Well, whatever we do to the bottom, you got to do to the top. So 3 times 12 is 36. Now, skipping ahead a little bit, what are we doing to the 3 to make it a 60? What are we doing to the 3 to make it a 60? Well, you're multiplying it by 20. So you have to do the same here. 2 times 20 is going to be 40. Move on to the next spot. What are we doing to the 2 to make it a 52? So 2 times 26 equals 52. So whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. And we get, oh, my math is going on me. There we go, 78. Next, what are we doing to the 3 to make it a 96? We're multiplying it by 32. Whatever you do to the top, you got to do to the bottom. And you get 64. Next, it says the length of the American flag is 1.8 yards. Find the height. Well, we know that the ratio is 3 to 2. And we know that this is the height. And this is, I lied, that's actually the length. And this is the height. So we'll set this up, making sure that we put it equivalent to that ratio. And this is 1.8 over the height, which we don't know yet. Now, you have to ask yourself, what am I multiplying 3 by to get 1.8? Well, I can't do that in my head, so I would write this off to the side. I look to make sure that I have no decimals in my divisor, and then we look and we say 3 does not go into 1, but after I bring my decimal up, 3 does go into 18, so we're actually multiplying by 0.6. So times 0.6 gives me 1.8. So 2 times 0.6 gives me the answer of 1.2. So 1 2/10 is my new, or is the height. Next problem. Nicole uses 5 ounces of mushrooms, 2 ounces of butter, and 1/4 pint of cream to make mushroom soup. Find the ratio of the number of ounces of mushrooms to the number of ounces of butter to the number of ounces of cream. Well, we look back and they've set up most of it for you. So 5 ounces, that's easy. So it's 5 to 2, and then 1/4 of a pint. There's where we're going to run into an issue. We know that 1 cup is 8 ounces. We also know that there are 2 cups in a pint. So every pint is worth 16 ounces. So a pint equals 16 ounces. Now the problem is we only have 1/4 of that. So in order to figure that out, you would have to take 1/4 times 16 over 1, which is basically dividing 16 by 4, and you end up with 4. So this would be 5 ounces to 2 ounces to 4 ounces. Next, if Nicole uses 15 ounces of mushrooms, so I'm going to rewrite my ratio here. We have 5 ounces of mushrooms to 2 ounces of butter. I'm going to make sure that I label that. To 4 ounces of cream. Now, it says, if Nicole uses 15 ounces of mushrooms, how many pints of cream does she use? Well, we have to get this amount of mushrooms up to 15. So we times it by 3, and we get 15. Okay, so whatever we do to one, we have to do to the other. Now we're going to the cream. We have to take that cream and we have to multiply it by 3, and that gives me 12 ounces. But the problem says how many pints of cream, and that's my mistake. I should have done 1/4 times 3, and that gives you 3/4 of a pint. Sorry about that. If Nicole uses 1 pint of cream, how many ounces of butter does she use? So we go back to our original ratio. She's going to be 5 to 2, 5 mushrooms, 2 butter, or 2 ounces of butter, and 1/4 pint of mushroom soup, or cream actually. Now it says if she uses 1 pint of cream. So basically, how many times does 1/4 go into 1? We know that we are multiplying by 4 to get 1. So you have to do that to the butter. How many ounces of butter? Well, we need to times it by 4, and you end up with 8 ounces of butter. Next problem. I'm guessing that's Asia mixes 50 milliliters of yogurt, 100 grams of fruit, and 250 milliliters of milk to make a regular smoothie. What is the ratio of the amount of yogurt to the amount of fruit to the amount of milk? So this is just straight up, they're asking for you to write it out. You know that you have to put it in simplest terms. So it would be 50 yogurt to 100 fruit to 250 milk. Sorry for the little pause there. That was Mr. Grammatico visiting. So we would need to reduce these, and then each one of these can be divided by 50. So this would be 1, 2, 50. So it's a 1 to 2 to 50. If Asia has 1 liter of milk, how many regular smoothies can she make? So we have 250 milliliters. We got to figure out how many times that goes into 1,000 milliliters, because 1 liter is really 1,000 milliliters. So what do we have to do to 250? Well, we times it by 4. So the answer to B would be 4. Last but not least, and Asia wants to make regular smoothies herself, her 2 friends, and a small smoothie that is half size of a regular smoothie to feed her younger brother. How much yogurt, milk, and fruit will she need? Okay, so we have her, she's 1, 2 friends is 3, and then the half is going to be 3.5. So we know that everything is going to be 3.5 times larger. So let's look this over. If we have 50 yogurt to 100 fruit to 250 milk, you would have to multiply each one of these numbers by 3.5. So I'm just going to do 3.5, 3.5, and times 3.5. Now, the way that I would do this is I would say that 3 times 50 is 150, and then I'm adding 25 more to that. But long story short, it's 175. This one, because it's 100 times 3.5, you're moving the decimal 2 places to the right, so 350. That's a horrible 5. And last but not least, 875. That should be it for our homework. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye.